All right, my friends, here we are, episode 4 of the Pwncast. Today, I'm sitting here with my good friend, MrBigBizzness. Man, this guy, I just want to start this off by saying this guy came in as electric is really the best way that I can describe him. He's got this electric personality. Hit the ground running. I'm going to take a page out of my good friend Mustache Gaming from the Vossrail Porter podcast. He says some streamers have that it factor, and they know how to entertain. They know just all that good stuff and how to put on a great show. And I gotta say, man, that very first time I saw MrBigBizzness stream, I was like, "Who is this man?" And I love his energy, and I got to chat with him. And I hope he sticks around UO Outlands. And here we are coming up on it might be a month in now. And he's just killing it, man. He's just rocking it. But, as always, I don't want to sit here and ramble on about him too much. I want him to talk as well, obviously. Man, MrBigBizzness, tell the UO Outlands community a little bit about yourself, who you are, and, all that jazz.
Well, as always, I gotta say, Pwn, I'm a big fucking fan, man. When I first came into the Outlands community, I lurked around a lot for a good week or so when I came across the game, and you were one of the very first people. You and Bear were one of the first people I decided to jump into the chat, and I just sat back and I watched. I sat back, I watched, I lurked, I saw how the community was, and I loved it, man. And up to this day, going on about 3 weeks, starting today, we're going strong. And for you, as a very key streamer in the Outlands community, I gotta say, man, thank you for seriously giving me this opportunity to sit here and talk with you, and your viewers on freaking YouTube are freaking wonderful. Thank you. Big goddamn salutes to all of you. I appreciate it, and I'm freaking excited. And I'm just gonna start off and state for the facts that Mr. Big Business is here to stay in the Outlands Ultima Online community. Facts. I mean, I'm here to stay. I love it. I've as a person, as a streaming person for 5 years. I'm gonna kind of speak out as MrBigBizzness, but I'm gonna speak out as a personality, as a person. Mr. James, that's all I'll say. I like to keep MrBigBizzness up on the channel. Who am I? Where did I come from? What womb did I pop out from to stream in the Twitch community? I got to start off with saying I got very motivated to stream, and a lot of you guys can see my stream with the green screen, the effects, the stuff that I add to the channel is very, very motivated and very I guess you could say, disrespect inspired. And that's where it fueled from. That's where it started from. You got this old Army veteran sitting in these channels that still loves to play video games to this day. And I'm looking at this, I don't know, at the time, 30s, almost 40-year-old dude just sitting there entertaining people with the amount of energy that he has. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you know what? I could do it. That's something I could do. And so I sat down. I was like, who am I going to be? What am I going to be? How am I going to do it? And it's crazy to think that if I start a streamer that I'm going to get one viewer, that there's going to be people watching me stream. I couldn't fathom that, man. I couldn't mentally fathom somebody's going to watch me stream. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go with it. So I sat down and was like, who do I want to be on stream? What do I want to do? And so I took that inspiration from the doc and I've created a character. And if you guys look at, and I think I've said this on stream before, if you look at Dr. Disrespect, the man has 5 syllables to his name. Dr. Disrespect. And when I came up with my name, I was like, I like Doctor. What can I use in replace of Doctor? And I came up with Mr. And then I wanted that Miss Doctor this. I want that oomph behind it. So I was like, what has some fucking oomph? And I thought of Big, Mr. Big. And then I was like, you know what? Is Mr. Big enough? And then I was like, I need a little bit more. I need that end. I need a little end to it. So I came out with business. So it has that oomph behind it. And Mr. Big Business, that's where that derived from. And going forward as a streamer, and in the Twitch community, with my background in 3D animation, I knew Photoshop. I knew a bunch of programs. I was like, let me do what he's doing. That's working. So I took all that. I gathered all that. I started my overlays. I created the overlays, and I went with it. And let me tell you one thing: the very first stream that I did was absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious, bro.
As most experiments are, right?
Yeah, I streamed wirelessly for my very first stream, and it was a learning curve. It was a big learning curve, but that's where I was. That's who I am, and I also attest to, as a veteran of the United States Army, I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan, and streaming is an outlet for me on a day-to-day basis. Having PTSD, and I dealt with those demons, and I loved the streaming aspect because it let me just be somebody else, be a character, and just forget about everything else that's going on around me in my head and everything, and just focus on the entertainment aspect and Twitch. And from 5 years ago to today, it's been phenomenal. I've loved it. I don't think I'll ever stop streaming.
So, first off, thank you for your service. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I know there's quite a few veterans, both active and previously active, but in the Outlands community. So I'm sure you've probably been presented by a whole bunch of them saying, "Hey, I'm a veteran too." So thank you very much for that. Bear, actually, you mentioned Bear. He was the very first person, first episode, the Pwncast. He's in the military as well, active. My alter ego is another one. He's a Marine. So, and that's just, I know I'm missing a ton. So tons. But either way, man, that's awesome. So with that too, man, one thing I've noticed about you and your streams is that you're an extremely analytical person. Like you think into things a lot, which is a great thing. Just like what you just said, you said Dr. Disrespect, 5 syllables, and you wanted that same umph and all that really cool stuff. I know previously when we were just kind of talking about a week ago or something, you were asking a lot of questions about my YouTube and some of the analytics behind there and stuff. And, watching your streams, you can really tell the amount of work that you put into them back with those backdrops and the graphics and the animations and what's her name? The girl?
I love my Bertha.
Bertha, yeah.
Bertha. I know you're
watching. She is a beautiful specimen of a monster demoness woman, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
But you kind of told us a little bit about your entry into streaming. It's been 5 years now. I mean, what was the first game that you actually like played?
It's been so long. I don't even, I could tell you it was a lot of games before obviously Outlands, but I think my biggest main focus was chess. And I think I started
really
focusing on, I was a big nerd. I still am a big nerd. When I was in 8th grade, I was introduced to chess 8th grade at a very young age, and it was exposed to me. And not to get too personal, but my life background has been pretty rough in some essence. I know some people have worse lives than I've lived, but it wasn't that great. And I found chess, and I found my nerdiness as a scapegoat to focus on, hey, Don't go down that bad path. Stay on the good path. And chess was that. So I was like, I thought chess was a great way to stream. And I started streaming chess, I think maybe second year as a streamer, and it was wonderful. It was great. I loved it. I was a chess.com partner. And everything was wonderful and great. I don't want to knock chess.com or anything like that. Some stuff was going on in the community that I didn't like after about a year or two. So I dropped chess.com. I'm not going to go into details because we're not here to do that. And I picked up a few more games, and then I picked up RuneScape, and I built a great community around that. And RuneScape was great. The community is great. It's wonderful. It's awesome. And I've been bouncing around with all these great games that are coming out. And I've struggled in the last, I would say, year and a half to figure out what game do I want? What game do I want? And lo and behold, the paths and the ways that I go, I was streaming Raven Dawn as an alpha. And
what's Raven Dawn?
Raven Dawn is like a 2D drop down similar to Ultima, old school style MMORPG with a modern twist. But their alpha was closing this month on the 27th. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stream Raven Dawn and I'm going to go forward. But what am I going to stream until Raven Dawn comes out and launches? And that wasn't going to be until December. So I'm racking my brain of like, what should I stream? What should I stream? And then I was like bored. I Googled games like Raven Dawn. And Lord, it was like an angel from heaven opened up the gates, shone this big old light down on me, Ultima Online. And here I am today. And it's been freaking wonderful. And I'm telling you, and I mean this, after 5 years of searching and using analytics, and like you said before, Pwncast is, I look and I try to figure out things. And I'll get into this a little bit later when you ask me a question. But bottom line, I ended up here, and I'm not leaving. I'm here.
So this is your introduction into Ultima Online is Outlands, and what you just said is how you found it here, and you had never played. Maybe you've heard of Ultima. Had you ever heard of Ultima Online before?
Never.
Even playing RuneScape. Wow.
I think maybe, like I said, I think maybe years ago or something happened where maybe I came across Ultima Online.
Yeah, but it didn't click for you to.
No.
Right.
It never stuck. It just didn't click. So that's the only explanation as an MMORPG nerd junkie, because it also, World of Warcraft was my first online PC game that MMORPG that I loved playing. So I don't know why it just never clicked.
Yeah. So what all like MMO? Obviously, we've been World of Warcraft was your first one. Did you ever play EverQuest?
I did play a little bit of EverQuest. Actually, I was stationed in Germany and bought this brand new computer. I was looking for an MMO. I don't know. I can't remember if EverQuest was online. Maybe it was. Maybe they had an offline version, but I did play EverQuest. No, EverQuest 2, I believe it was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So EverQuest was great. I do think they did have like an offline version that was like for console, maybe PC 2. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. But then I do know EverQuest 2 was pretty cool, pretty popular. I think there's still servers up too. But anyway, so here we are, man. 3 weeks today, you said, is your Outlands adventure, and one of the big reasons I wanted to invite you on here, and thank you, by the way, for accepting, is because not only do I just really enjoy your very high energy and entertaining streams, but also, and like I said earlier, you put a lot of work into them, and I know a little bit about adding things to OBS and setting up scenes and the extra stuff, that something that takes that shows on screen for like 2 seconds can take like 2 days of full work just to execute and make work out. So I give you a lot of appreciation in that regard. But like, you know, I wanted to get a newer player's perspective. Like 3 weeks in, you know, that's always great for me because I like to give tips to newer players and I like to help them out. But, you know, I do have those blinders on where, yes, I was a new player at one point, but that's been for like after, you know, it was like 6 months after the server launched for me. So, I mean, I've been here a very long time. So that recollection of a new player is a little bit lost, I guess you will say. So, I mean, just kind of, you know, what was your experience starting out like when you got into Shelter Island? Even actually, let me back up. Downloading the client, man, was it a disaster? Was it like, did you download retail first? And I mean, what happened?
Yeah. All right. So, wow. Yeah. It was definitely a very bumpy ride. The first thing I did when I found the game was, you're right. I downloaded actual Ultima Online, which is the one you pay for, right? Or the online membership one. And I thought that was the one everybody was streaming. So I downloaded it. I went into Shelter Island. I'm flipping lost. I don't know how to fight. I don't know how to move. I don't know how to go anywhere. I don't know a flipping thing. Watched a couple of your videos. At the same time, I was watching the streamers. So I went on, I think it was definitely Bear's channel. I went into Bear. I was like, let me get some insight into this game. So I went in there, I started typing, I'm a new player. And everybody's like, no, you need to go to Outlands. You need to do this. And then I guess they found out I was a streamer. I was like, yeah, I stream. But yeah, you definitely need to go to Outlands. And then I got hooked up, man. I was literally watching Bear stream, downloaded Outlands. Bear's like, get this, come over here, grab this, get this. You want to do Necro? What do you want to do? What do you want to do in the game? What do you want to do in the game? How do you want to play? I'm like freaking... My mind is just going chaotic right now. And the chat's like, do this, do that, do that. And I'm sitting there. I finally log in. I get on Bear's channel. I'm over at Shelter Island. He's like, take this, take this, take this. I literally could not, for the love of me, when you pull up a trade window that pops up, I was clicking the right corner.
Yeah.
The trade window popped up on the left-hand screen, and I didn't realize that there was another blue circle that I'm supposed to click. And I kept clicking his, which was taking the trade away. And he was like, no, take this. Click on the blue channel. So yeah, it was a crazy, wavy, freaking bumpy road at the beginning. And as a streamer, when I started streaming it, I'm getting loads of information. So
yeah.
Long story short, it's a little bit of information overload. But as time goes on, you know, I was learning. I'm still learning. I will continue to learn. There's people in my channel like Big Tuna, who's been in my channel many, many times. Yeah. He's been playing for years and years, and he's still learning stuff. So it's been a wild ride for the last 2 weeks. I'll put it that way.
I think that's awesome, by the way. That it's funny because I say this often, that there's so many people that are just at the edge of their seats, just wanting to give any and every bit of information that they can to a new player, and or a veteran even, really. Just they want to help everybody out. But like, man, it's so wild to me how that works. But again, it goes back to some of those basic things like accepting a trade, like moving, like dragging your katana from your backpack and releasing it onto your paper doll, hitting tab to go into war mode, and then not only hitting it, but having to hold it or go into options and turn it to not holding it. I mean, not holding it. Those little intricate details that are oftentimes forgot. I will say, I really think that they end up getting it to where people might log into the game and then end up being like, oh man, okay, I'll figure this out later. And then they never log back in. And so I think that's a really huge obstacle there, where you had that benefit was that you jumped into a streamer chat, and then also now you're streaming. And so there's this guy that's, man, he was playing Guild Wars 2, and now he's playing World of Warcraft. His name's like Moo Pliz or Moo Piss. might be Mupis. That's terrible, but it might be. I know I'm saying it wrong. But anyways, and he's learned World of Warcraft, never played it before, but he's streaming it and like he's loving the game because he's learning all this stuff and he's not being overwhelmed by it. And so it's kind of neat because you're doing that exact same thing on Ultima Online right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool to be able to sit there and watch you learn the game and you know, you've got your poison dexer and you're, you know, just it's cool watching that, watching somebody's impressions when you get something like today. You know, you were going to do a giveaway and the guy gave you the stuff and you're like, I don't even know what all this is, but this is awesome, man. You know, you're like, what is this, worth $1 million gold or something? And then you know, was it big tuna? He was like, well, actually, yes, it is worth $1 million gold.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm giving a 5 million away or if I'm giving 100,000 away. It's crazy. And you're right, man. I have that benefit as a streamer to stream it and have a coach like Big Tuna or Toonie over my shoulder, in my ear, or the chat standing there watching me typing away, giving me those pointers. But I think like you said, a struggle, and I don't know what the creators, I'm still kind of lost, maybe before I even answer that, is the owners are EA, right, of the game?
Well, of Outlands, it's his name's Owen. He's the Owen. Server owner. Yeah, Owen.
He's the owner.
Yeah, of this particular server. And
right.
then you've got Lucius, who is like the head of the coding and things, and Expo, I believe, is the community manager, and then man, it just goes from there. Yeah. There's more, but those are the main three.
Okay, so you know, and like I said, you know, the struggle. I have all that assets. I have all that way of getting all that information to help me play the game. But you get people like today. I think I've got 1 or 2 more players that I got into the game. Luckily, you know, I have some great viewers, and I got Tuna who's going to sit there and talk with them. They're in my Discord and help them out, create a character, give them some basics and stuff like that. But I think like Owen or the server owners and stuff, if it's possible, to create a small little tutorial or something in Shelter Island. I've even thought about maybe if your IP address is attached to your account, regardless of how many characters you make, if you're new to the game and your IP address can be somehow linked, maybe you get 30 days to where you can't get PK'd or something like that, or stolen from. It gives you some time to get accustomed to the game before, you know, people can start doing stuff to you or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. And I've got a couple other ideas too. I'm going to throw this one out there as well. The big thing in Outlands or even UI is the paper doll flex, right? Yeah. When you pull up the paper doll, the background is black.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that I have for the paper doll flex right now is dark colored, purple, yellow. You know, go figure. I use purple and yellow. What are the odds?
Yeah. Hey, purple background.
Exactly. I love it. Yeah. So I thought, what if they could add a option where you can have black or a white background? Because I think that would really help it stand out, your paper doll flex, because I mean, you're using real money and you want that to show that what you've bought, you want it to show people and stuff like that. It's just another little idea. But I think the biggest focus is getting new players a little bit more smoother transaction, a little bit more smoother guide into the server. Not necessarily the game, but at least the server, you know. And
I totally agree. Those tutorials, like you're talking about, like pop-ups or you know, quests. Something that I always thought was really cool, or would be really cool, is you know, everybody. I'd say the biggest hurdle that I hear the most of is that getting your first codex, right? Is, you know, a lot of times people will make jokes like, "Oh, just sit and either join a guild, they'll give you one, or sit in a streamer's chat and you'll probably get one." Otherwise, have fun farming Monbats for that first 25 arcane scrolls worth of gold and master crafting diagram. And
Exactly.
that is really true. I mean, I totally understand there should be a grind and it should be worth, there should be some time invested in there. But and again, I'm not the coder. I don't know how to implement this stuff. I just know how to make an idea and sit behind a screen and say it, right? But like if there was a quest that taught you the game, right? Adventurer, hit the tab key on your keyboard and strike the Mongbat. And then you kill the Mongbat, and then it gets you on to the next part. All right, venture deeper forth. And then after you do this quest, then you get to, if you were a bard, if you have music skill, you get the Bard Codex. If you're mainly a Dexer, you get a Swords Codex, or just, you know what I mean? Maybe you even have one for unlock your first aspect. Things like that. And I think it would help teach, adventurer, right click on the mouse pad and walk to me at the fountain. I think
basic stuff.
Yeah. It's just because there really is, I know, a ton of churn on that very entry level spot there on Shelter. I'm sure they have the numbers and can tell me I'm wrong or tell me I'm right. One of the two, right?
No, you're right. They do. They definitely do. I know. I know all that stuff takes time to what we want. It's easier. I know coding. I've got a little taste of it. When I went to college, I got my 3D animation degree. I know the little ins and outs of creating a game, or even a game that's already been played, to add something. It's always easier to say, hey, dev, hey, add this to the game. You need to have this. But to go behind and sit down and actually do what they want you to do, it takes time. It all takes time. It takes years to create a game, depending on what game you're is. But it also takes time to go in there, like Jace does it, and writing the code. That simple little code that he's doing for a game, but to implement something big like what we're saying, a whole tutorial island or a whole tutorial within Shelter Island, that takes time. And it honestly, if not just one person, it takes manpower to get all that done. So I get it. I definitely understand that that's not an easy task of what we're asking. If Owen and them are hearing us, I get it. But maybe it's something down the road, something in the future, or maybe they can come up with a more simplistic idea and off the idea that we're saying out there. So yeah, I get it, man. I definitely do, dude.
Yeah, they've always, I mean, they're always coming out with new content, and it's something that, it's kind of like what you were saying a little bit ago. You were looking for a new game, and just nothing could really stick or whatever. And I'm not ever looking for a new game per se, but I always am. I like to have a second game that I play and for my channel and things like that. Splash into that algorithm, make some videos for it, and enjoy other games too. I think one of the biggest things that can happen for anybody playing any game, even enjoying the best thing in the entire world, you can have too much of it and burn out, right? And so for me, having that second game, and then also having this creative outlet of this Pwncast, creating videos, streaming, things like that, it really keeps me like engaged in the game a lot as well. And so, having a second game that is second to Outlands has always helped with that tremendously. So, but at the same time, every single time I start playing another game, man, Outlands has new content. It's like, hey, we're having this content right here. And I'm like, oh, okay, toy. And I just get stuck right back in. And then all of a sudden that other game is just gone with the wind, man. Just like, see you later.
Definitely, dude. I felt that when I started actually playing the game and understanding the game, the draw into for people who've been playing for years and years and years. I feel that draw. And that's why I'm thinking, like, there's so much interactiveness as a streamer, but in the game, but there's so much interactiveness with the guild, or even just playing by yourself, even if you're not a part of the guild. There's so much to do in this game that even 4 or 5 hour stream from me or people just playing it just goes by just like that. It's instantaneously. And I will say this, what drew me into the Ultima Online community as a streamer, or even Outlands, both of those, I want to say is when I found Ultima Online or Outlands, and I went into the Twitch community and I saw the number of viewers and the number of streamers, and I knew it was a small niche, all right, as players and as streamers and as viewers. And what I saw, and this is just me thinking big, is an opportunity not only for us as streamers, but for also viewers and players, that I think, and I feel it, that this game can grow bigger than what it already is, not only in YouTube, but also on Twitch.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that opportunity, and that's part of the reason why I'm here. Is I want to do that. I want to grow this game. I want to grow with it as a streamer, but I also want to grow with it as a player. And I want it to grow for all of us, for all streamers and YouTube content creators. For everybody. That's right. And I think I can do that. And I want to take over those followers that I have from previous that are coming over here. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to think outside the box a lot. And I'm always that analytic type, like you said. What can I do to make this grow? What can I do to have this little small community grow up to be bigger? Because it's going to benefit you as a content creator and me as a content creator and all content creators. If I can bring my little part and grow it just a little bit bigger, and we can all benefit, and even the viewers, more players, more people into the game. And I don't care what shard it is, Unchained, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what shard. There's tons.
That's so huge right there, man. Because if you go back to what you had originally said, is that you thought you were joining Outlands originally, but then you ended up jumping on retail. Man, I can't tell you. I mean, it's probably at least one a day, but I mean sometimes 2, 3, or more. But where people will be like, "Hey, man, where am I at? Does this look familiar? This doesn't look anything like the game you're playing. Where do I get aspect?" And then they send me a screenshot, and they're walking around with some weapon that's not on Outlands, or they're in, I think it's called Haven, which is the starter town for an Ultimate Retail or whatnot. And I'm like, well, actually, we play this, or and they go, okay, well, I'm having fun here. I'm just going to stick it out. I'll jump on Outlands later, and so they hang out there. That's great. That's great. Yeah. It happens a lot, man. And sometimes though they come to Outlands, probably more often than not they do, right? But it's just it's so important, and this is a really big important subject to me, is that what Outlands is doing is, yes, Outlands is growing substantially. 2 years ago, man, it was like 1,500 people online at any given time. A year ago, it was like 2,200 people online at any given time. This year, it's 3,000 people online at any given time. Outlands is growing. It's not going to stop growing, man. It's going to continue to grow, and it's growing at a faster rate. There's more streamers that are consecutively streaming it with quality content. There's more people making videos with quality content. I mean, when I first started making videos, and I would put my video in that player video screenshot channel there on the Outlands channel, it's like I would put my one video in there a week, and it would probably be right there at the bottom, right when you click in, for multiple days, maybe even till the next week, right? It was me and Trammy Surprise and like one other person and making a video. Now, when I'm putting 3 videos in there a week, and my video won't stay there at the bottom of that thing for more than a couple hours on that that given particular day. It's awesome to see that. And all those videos, not only are they helping Outlands, but they are helping Unchained. They're helping Sagas. Sagas isn't even out yet, and they're making videos that look beautiful. And guess what? It's helping Ultima Online as a whole. And that is so important for people to understand that. And so when people, I'm going on a rant here, if you can't tell. When people go into,
it's all good. It's all good on this end.
When people go into other streamers' chats or comment on other servers' videos and stuff, like, or even Reddit. Reddit is a cesspool of toxicity, and it upsets me because, like, you dumbasses, just understand that this is helping your little tiny community grow. So quit being assholes to people that are trying to make Ultima Online grow, and just understand that some people like vanilla ice cream, some people like chocolate, and some people like cookies and cream. And it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's still milk and sugar and God's given deliciousness.
It all fucking tastes the same, baby. All gravy. And I was in Alter Egos today, and he was literally just talking about we're talking. I think he was gonna play on the Unchained shard. And what he did, he was just like, listen, I've been playing Outlands for like a year, he said, or somewhere on there. If he wants to take a little bit of break and go into Unchained, because it's the same game, but it's a little bit different than what Outlands is, and it's refreshing. But at the end of the damn day, it doesn't matter what shard you pick. It's the Outland community. Not Outland. I'm the Ultima Online community.
Yeah.
That's important to grow. That's all that matters. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Like you said, what you right. like is what you like, and we're here to grow as a community as a whole, and that's what we ultimately. That's the end state. That's the end state right there, man.
And it's the same. It's the same as for like streamers. You know what I mean? Like I want. Ultimately, I'd like it if everybody streamed, right? Because that's going to be more for people to find whatever streamer it is that they like, and then the streaming community in Twitch and YouTube all to grow up. That's why I want everybody to make videos, because once again, that's just more content being put out there for Ultima Online, which in turn will help Outlands grow, will help myself grow, will help you grow, all that stuff, man. I mean, yeah, it's just, that's such a passionate like thing for me. I personally love Outlands, and I will play Outlands until the day it's gone. But I also respect it when somebody's playing another server, and I'm like, dude, that's cool, man. Yeah, that looks awesome. That's great.
Good.
Glad you're playing Ultima, man.
Yep. You know what I want?
What?
This is one of my goals. Listen, I understand you do YouTube and Twitch, and for that whatever reason, like you said, that's completely fine. Me, I obviously stick with just Twitch, and we have a lot of people who just stream on Twitch, which is cool. Either way, how you want to go. And I have not seen one Twitch partner streaming Ultima Online. My goal, this is what I would love to see, is I don't care if it's me. Obviously, that would be great. But if I can get one person on Twitch, if we can get one person on Twitch partnered in Twitch, maybe, just maybe, hopefully, when somebody opens up that twitch.com and they see on the front page, hopefully,
an Ultima
Online on that front page. And that's one of the small goals / big goals that I want. I don't care if it's there. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if it's a nobody streamer that I've never heard of that comes into Ultima Online for the first time tomorrow with 10 million freaking views. It doesn't matter. I want to get Ultima Online in the front page of Twitch. I would love that. I don't know if YouTube has something similar to that. If they got like a front page top games being streamed. But either way, I think that would be great for the Ultima Online community.
I'd say this year. I would really guess this year somebody would get partner if they tried. I mean, there's also that duration of time. You know what I mean, and the things like that. But I would say probably at the end of this year, I bet somebody will be a partner. I can't be because it won't let me. I can't even affiliate my Twitch. But
yeah, tracking
either way.
That, brother.
But so let's say, back on topic, like with the game, like when you're established, do you think that you'll be more, I mean, this is hard to answer 3 weeks in, but like, do you think you'd be more of a PvPer? I mean, I saw you having some fun with, PvPing today. Do you think you'd be more of a PvMer, or, I mean, have you even indulged or looked into like the RPing community, which is really wild?
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm gonna tell you right out the beginning, I've never played an MMORPG that has thieving. Never.
Oh, it's so fun, man.
Oh bro, I love watching you freaking. Real quick, I gotta ask this on the side note. When you steal something and you hear that Yahoo, Is that in game or is that you?
No, that's me hitting my soundboard.
Okay, I
Yeah.
had to ask. I had to ask because I think that is so freaking sweet. But to answer your question, man, it's so hard. It's like, okay, I have joined a guild, um,
What guild?
militia guild, militia.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
got Big Tuna's guild, and I was like, you know what? I trust Big Tuna. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with militia. They've already invited me and everything. So in their guild, they're anti PK from what I gather. They want you to be more of a PVMer or something like that, do omnis and stuff like that. So you have that aspect of, okay, if I want to PK people, if I want to do that, or PvP, I guess PK, PvP would be the same thing, right? Or is
Well,
that kind
PK stands for people kill,
player kill? Yeah,
player
people
kill. So like, I would just be going out and murdering a blue character.
Right.
But PvP is player versus player. So I do know Kenny Nelson. Is he still playing? You might. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's in U. And I used to see him in the town struggles, just whacking away with his war mace, man. And he'd have like 3 healers behind him. It was domination. But yeah. So I mean, PK would be red. You'd be red.
Yeah. PvP would be like going over and just doing a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2.
Sure.
But you don't become red or anything like that, right?
Right. Or doing. Ooh, have you heard about town struggles or dungeon flashpoints?
No.
Oh, you're in for a treat, my friend. Okay, all right. We'll talk about those later.
All right, we'll talk about that side. But to answer your question, you're right. It's kind of early to see where I want to go, but I will say PVM, yes, I love that. I definitely want to get in the guild and do some omnis. Obviously, can't stream that, but I do plan on making some content posted on YouTube as well. And definitely want to do thieving. That's just too goddamn much fun. Maybe not right now, but in the near future, definitely thieving is going to be something I definitely want to do. It's just too much damn fun. I can't resist. You know what? I know we have Jester. I know we have you. And it has nothing to do with that. It just looks so much fun. I've never done something like that in an MMORPG. So definitely thieving, PVMing, and maybe down the road when I get a little bit better, we'll do some PvP. So definitely,
So
I guess
there's like there's multiple ways that people play thieves. I personally really like. For me, it's all about the chase, right? I know that I'm not like a great PvP or anything, but I have a pretty good understanding of what I need to do to kill someone, interrupt their spells, teleport out of the way. All the simple stuff, right? But so for me though, it's all about going gray, them chasing me, and me running away. And I saw that inkling in your eye today when you did where they chase you and they kill you and then they get the ticket or whatever, which is awesome. I saw how like excited you were as they were chasing you, and that's the same like feeling I get when I'm running from people. And then you teleport ahead, you drop a wall, and then I fuck with them and throw the torches in the air. It's just so much fun, dude. And so definitely. For me, that's great. On the other side, though, you could also do it where like his name's Blacklisted. You got to check him out. He's probably the best like solo PKer this game has ever seen, hands down. Blacklisted 86. He's awesome. And anyways, what he'll do is he'll just purposely go gray. Steal a random item, doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes they're potions, they're healing reagents, whatever. And he's great, and they attack him. And then he just is really, really good at PvP, and they're dead. And now he's got all their stuff. That is the much more profitable way to do it, and it's way easier. There's many times I catch myself, and I'll start like dumping spells on them, and I'm like, I really wish I had meditation and eval. This would be so easier. But it's just so much fun for me to just run through a bunch of monsters and just annihilate them.
Also what's crazy, I think it was like week 1, I found out I can go to Prev and I can gamble.
Yep. Yeah.
I can gamble. I went in there. I'm not going to lie. Dragon. I won that 1.5 mil on Bobby's stream.
Nice.
And I think I lost like 100, 200K freaking gambling, doing some Texas Hold'em. And I was like, this little thing like that was like insane. And of course, it was bad. I got no cards. I got like a pair of twos with like 100,000. It was crazy, but it was just the fact that like, wow, I can go over here and gamble. Just another little side thing, or watching Lucy do RP as she's sitting in town, and there's people actually playing a game of chess. It's just those little add-ons. It's like, wow, there's so much to do. And RP is maybe something I might get into with the guild too as some content. Who knows? You know, the door is wide open to so much content as a content creator that is limitless almost in a sense, you know, and it's just the interaction of this game, even with the viewers. There's so much interaction, and I haven't seen, or at least me, I haven't streamed a game that has that much interaction. I played games like RuneScape where you give stuff away and all that, but there's other stuff besides just giveaways that you can interact with with your viewers and stuff like that. So I think that's just bar none insanely awesome.
That's what I typically, you remember earlier I was telling you about, like I'll play another game and I'll just kind of like easily end up right back in Outlands, and a lot of that is because of the player interactions and stuff like that. That's just so fun to me, being able to, you know, see that same person, and maybe I don't ever interact with him, but I see his name go by pretty regularly, and I see things like you said, Lucy playing chess, or you know, knowing that Blacklist, there goes Blacklisted, he's got two people chasing him, and I know they're gonna die. But it's just, you know, and knowing all that stuff, and it's just fun with the who's who, but it's still growing. So you do see people that you don't know who they are, but you do see the familiar people as well.
Yeah, I think I got like Continental was it yesterday? Me and Tooney were running around in the dungeon, and Continental thought it'd be funny to aggro some people and then run away. You know,
that's the best.
Or he would actually just stand by me while I'm going through the dungeon by myself, just watching my back to make sure I didn't die or something like that, you know. And you start to notice those people, or Beowulf or Continental, or more and more people as I play the game. I'm like, oh, because you know what they wear, you know, with their characters and stuff, so you can start spotting them as you're playing the game, man. So that's cool. That is cool, and I'll all that is starting to like kind of like sink in. Like I was insanely overwhelmed the first dungeon with Tuna running. There's dead people, there's reds running around, there's players, there's aggro, there's stacks on stacks of dragons trying to slap me. It's just chaos. But as time goes on, it's starting to be less chaotic to my eyes and not understanding what I'm looking at. So, and that's what makes it more fun as you're learning and stuff like that. So it's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, just
awesome.
Seeing all the monsters and the people in the dungeons. It's you know, even the dungeons that are somewhat empty still have people in them. You know what I mean? It's like you can't go at two screens without running into somebody. And then of course you have the other dungeons that, you know, depending on the week and how much gold drops in said dungeon, it's just flooded with people. So, you know, for me, I've personally found that going to those dungeons that aren't extremely populated end up being better farming than the ones that are supposed to be better farming, because you're not fighting for monsters and things like that. But you still get that player interaction. With the thieving, it's the same thing. Sometimes those less frequented dungeons, people are way less protective of their loot, and they just leave it out in the open, and they'll sit there and they'll get full bags with like 3 skill balls and 2 treasure maps just sitting in the front deck. And I'm like, all right, this is fun. Thank you.
Yeah, I ran into a $10,000 blessed check just sitting on the ground. I knew it was Continental, just threw it on the ground. I ran into it. I'm like, what is this? It's 10,000 gold. What the hell? I was probably like, oh, you just got continentalized, you know, and stuff like that. But the other thing too that I found great about this, and the first thing that I saw was, and it was kind of overwhelming at first too, was not only just the vendors everywhere, because that's kind of easy, was looking at people's houses or their inns and how decorated they are, and the crud they have everywhere in their house. And I'm like, what is all this? Now I know that feeling because I got the bigger inn now. The first 2 things I had in my inn were 2 little chests, you know, and now I got the bank, I've got the the magic recycler, and now I got a shelf, you know, so now starting decorating a little bit. Now I'm getting that feel of like, oh my God, I'm actually starting to accomplish some stuff. But I will say a lot of that has been to the great viewers who have donated to me, who've given me some money, or I've won money in the game too as well. So I that's not all me. That's a lot of that given to me and given to
Of
me as a
course.
new streamer, a new player. So I give credit due, man, because if it wasn't for them,
Yeah.
it would be bumpy.
I think that's such a huge thing, and I mean, not even just as a streamer, but just, I mean, if someone's out there and they're trying to understand the game, or wondering, maybe they're like, what's a shelf, what's a magic recycler, or things like that.
Yep.
It's just so important to get in a guild. Like, I can't stress that enough, of like going to that guild recruitment channel and just reading all those advertisements, finding a guild that sounds good to you. A lot of them, they post like what their typical playtime is, and hopefully you can match that with yours. And then,
Yeah.
one of the biggest things is hoping that they have an active voice chat. And if you don't want to talk in voice, that's fine, but at least hopefully they have an active Discord that you can ask questions, and people talk.
Yep.
But really just sitting in there in voice chat, talking about the game, and then you'll because what'll happen is like, oh dang man, I died. Now it's going to take me 10 minutes to restock, and it's like, oh, you don't have a
Yep.
shelf? Oh well, let me help you get a shelf. What do we got here? How many MCDs you got? What do you got here? And then next thing you know, dying really isn't that bad once you have a shelf. I mean, yeah, it sucks losing the resources, but it's one click and you're good to go, and it's so easy.
Say me about 15 minutes to 20 minutes getting into another dungeon. You just go back to the house, resupply it, let's go again. It's phenomenal. It's a lifesaver. It's definitely a lifesaver. And I think, what was it? I remember Tooney's house, when he had his house. I was doing stuff in his house to level up my poisoning, and up to like 100 or was. And now I went from like 106 to 120. I was actually able to level up my poisoning to 120 at my end with my shelf, and it felt phenomenal. It felt freaking phenomenal.
Tell me the very first time you got PK'd. Just give me the story. How did it happen? And like, what was your thought process and your reaction? Were you streaming? Like, just tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, let me think here.
And then stealing too. First time you got stolen from too.
I don't know if I've gotten stolen from yet.
We'll change that.
Stolen. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm saying this now. This is going to go out on YouTube, and then like in a week or two after people have watched this, again, I'm going to be like the number one person. Go steal up from Mr. Big. Go steal from Mr. Big. Tell me how it feels, Mr. Big. That's all good. That's okay. Bring it. It's all good. It's all good. It's a part of the game. PK. Honestly, I don't think I got Okay, I did get. I'm really thinking about this.
Yeah.
I got paid on stream one time, I think, and then the other PKs have been what I've been doing for the last day or two, where I run around, people try to PK. But how the feeling is, well, with MrBigBizzness, I like to put a little energy behind my PKs. So I might get a little frustrated. I might vent or stand up and maybe throw a couple chairs across the room. But in all goodness and all humor, you know what it is. What it is part of the game, and maybe one day I can return the favor. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it's fine. It's great. It's wonderful.
You've only been PK'd one time though, your entire 3 weeks here.
Not counting being PK'd from the viewers with chasing me and killing. Minus that, I have been PK'd a couple times prior to those. And I did get dry looted on all occasions. But the very first time, it was just like, okay, welcome. And then the other thing is, like, I'm aspect level 4. I've got poison 120. Let me go into what is it? I can't remember the name of the dungeon. One of the beginner, not shelter, but I can't remember.
Urkton.
Yeah, I went into Urkton and thinking like, okay, man, I've aspect up. I can kill some more stuff. I can take more stuff down. I go into level 3. I get slapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome back to Outland. Welcome back to Ultima Online, bro. You got a long way to go before you're gonna start pulling in 3 or 4 mobs and thinking you're gonna walk in here and just take away the free loot and run out. So yeah, I've been humbleized a lot in the game, but hey man, I've had fun doing it, and there's a lot more PKs, there's a lot more deaths down the road, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to every single one of them.
I think that's the fun part of it is that I mean, yeah, you can just like with any MMORPG because it's numbers, right? But you can play it two ways. Like you can really go in there and be way overpowered for whatever you're about to do, or you can really challenge yourself and make it fun. And for me, I like the challenge. You know,
Mhm.
I like playing something fun that isn't necessarily the typical air armor, macer, or wrestler, and just the meta, whatever.
Yeah,
And with oh well, you have to have 15 links before you go in. No, you don't. No, you don't. There's not anything blocking you from going in there to do this without that. It's just
yeah,
it's going to be much easier if you do, but then you're going to be sitting there watching Netflix on one screen while you're sitting there playing the game. And no, I like to be like, ugh, ugh. Like this is
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, exactly. I keep asking, like, well, how far am I gonna have to go up in the aspect or my poison or my what is it, your not your procs, but what's
Your
inside
aspect chance.
no, you're finalized where
Oh,
you
your
can do
finisher. Your finisher.
yeah, finisher. You
Okay.
know, so I'm like asking like how far do I gotta get before I can start not getting carried by a hand through a dungeon, by myself and I can actually do some of this stuff. But it's gonna take a while before you can actually do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So I get humbled all the time trying, but it's fun.
it's fun.
It's fun doing it. It's fun trying. It definitely is, for
So
sure.
what would your I mean, obviously the community that's been, in your channel, the community that, you met in Bear's stream the very first time you found, you jumped into an Outland streamer. Um, that community has been amazing. That
Yeah.
I see that, I hear that. But what would you say, the community outside of that? Have you interacted much in like the Outlands general Discord or just like on the random banks or in the dungeons? What's kind of your take on the Outlands community as a whole?
Let me okay, I'll give you a story. I think this happened yesterday. I was in Irkton and I got killed and I came back. I got my stuff and I'm sitting around and all of a sudden I find this loot on the ground, right? Armor, not expensive stuff. I'm asking chat, do I loot it? Not loot it? Loot it? Not loot it? What should I do? What should I do? Some people say, loot it, take it. Hey, it's fair game. It's free. I have it set up to where I can't steal something or take something, or anything like that. I don't want, but it was great loot. They're like, take it, take it. So I took it, right?
Yeah.
And I felt bad taking it,
Yeah.
right? Then and then the player who lost it was coming back in. He's standing right there, and I'm like, "Hey, did you just die? Is this your stuff?" He's like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "You know what? Hold on." So I gave it all back to him.
Oh,
I gave it back to him. I swear to God, I
yeah.
swear on my most gave it back to him.
Yeah.
And chat was like, "All right, you still got respect." So the interaction with the people in the game, the people that are coming onto the Discord as are coming in my Discord and your Discord, and now that I'm talking with the guild and stuff, has been utterly amazing, caring. All they ultimately want is just you to enjoy the game, and that's another thing too. They want you to enjoy the game, have fun, and learn, but at the same time, they want to keep you there. But and I will say this too, as a streamer, and I've struggled with this before, as a streamer playing a very new learning curved game. I had this when I was dealing with RuneScape as a new streamer, as a new player as well. Is everybody wants to give you the information, right? They want to shove it in your face. They not necessarily shove it in your face. They want to give it all to you so you understand what's going on. In RuneScape, it was the same thing, but the biggest difference between the viewers in RuneScape and the viewers in that curve, and I'm not saying they're bad or anything like that, is that the viewers who want to help you in the game, they're like, they take a step back and they're like, you know what, learn, think. They give you the information, but they're not overwhelming. It's not overwhelming. Most of the time, it's just like, you know what, Big, do what you want, have fun with the game. That's more important than me shoving information into your face, trying to understand the game, being overwhelmed with everybody's input and stuff like that. They kind of sit back a little bit like, okay, let's hit the brakes.
What would you
And let's
say
just
the average? This might be a hard question, maybe not. But what would you say the average age is of RuneScape? And were you playing 3 or old school RuneScape? Which one was it?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Definitely RuneScape 3. I dabbled in old school for a little bit, but I was more drawn to the RuneScape 3. It's more of a newer stuff, but the old school is still cool. I think the average viewer age, honestly, I would say,
or player age.
Yeah, player base / viewer base. I think it's about the same age as Outlands overall, and I think that's the reason, because of that nostalgic. It's been around for so long versus these kids coming in and playing these AAA games, or viewers coming in and watching these AAA special great graphics games. They don't understand that, and they don't realize that they're missing another good game. But it's okay, it's understandable. But the average age is an older age, which is cool. And I think as a streamer, I'm hoping, I want to widen that age gap, so we can get more younger players into the game too, because ultimately we want to pass it on, because my kid, he's 10, he likes MMORPGs, but he's used to Fortnite and all the other AAA games. But maybe I can introduce him into a more like, hey, this is cool, even though it's not special crazy graphics, it's still a fun game. So yeah, definitely an older crowd for sure, but we want that younger crowd too as well.
Yeah, of course. I always, because communities are so different. Like, Final Fantasy 14, the community over there, way different than the one in World of Warcraft, which is way different than the one over here, which is, they're all so different. And age plays into that for one thing, but then also, I mean, there's just lots of differences. I know Final Fantasy 14 has that kind of that anime-ish look, and so it caters more to that. I don't know if demographic is the right word, but I'm going to use it because that's what I'm going with.
I completely understand. There's a huge age demographic, or even just demographic in general. And I mean, you're going to see it in games on Twitch in general. There are certain games, and I will use Raven Dawn. It's not even about the age demographic. It's about the demographic self, Chinese, Portuguese, or whatever. And Raven Dawn is one of those games like where a majority of the community is Portuguese. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
I could be wrong. I think I had a friend. His name's Chocobo. He's in LC, in Amish's Guild, and he was talking about Raven Dawn. It could be a different game, but I'm pretty confident that he's been watching that develop and everything. And he sent me a gameplay trailer. It looks really cool, actually. So.
How do I say this without being politically correct here? It's not maybe just the region. There's certain games in certain regions of the world that more people are attracted to, that are
of course
to and stuff like that, versus U.S. games. So yeah, I get that. There it definitely is that age, region, the game style, the gameplay. Yeah, it's all a huge factor with who plays it and who watches it. I completely agree.
So back on topic with Outlands, like what kind of things? And yeah, I know we talked a little bit about some, but I mean, if there's any more, or just elaborate. What kind of things would you like to see in Outlands? This year. I get it. It might be difficult to say that you've been playing for 3 weeks, but this year or even beyond, really.
Well, I do know this, and it was posted on my Discord and I watched it last week with the new expansion coming out this year, hopefully. What's going on there is great, and I know coming into Outlands how buying a house is truly expensive. There's not much space to get a house, and if you do want a house, it's very expensive. So I think hopefully this new expansion in Outland will, someone like me who's new to the game, get a chance to get a house, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I'm still kind of learning that whole aspect. But ultimately in the future, what I'm hoping, hopefully does happen, is maybe in the next year or two, they do something or add something that can hopefully like you said, that we talked about, make it a little easier for somebody to come in and start the game, because I think at this given time, it does take help from your guild or from somebody who's played it to get them immersed into the game and understand what's going on. And I think that's the biggest thing I can see as a new player.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest hurdle. And is it hard? I don't know. Like you said, I'm not a dev. You're not. We're not devs. We don't code. We understand it takes a while. But I think that's the biggest thing. If we can just get past that hurdle, people understand the game more. We're gonna grow the Outlands, whether it be Outlands or not. And maybe if Outlands set the standard to do something like that, then it will trickle down to Unchained and the other servers or
Yeah.
shards. Or even if not Outlands, maybe Unchained does it. Maybe the other server does it, and Outlands follows suit or does something similar. Either way, I think that's the biggest issue I see. And not a lot of people have the same what's the word I'm looking for? Have the same reach as a streamer or use my viewers, to help me out. But yeah, that's what I would definitely love to see. And I am looking forward to, and I'm sure Outland does it, is like a Christmas theme, Halloween theme kind of thing they do every year. I'm sure they do something like that. I've seen it on some YouTube channels. There's a Christmas tree in the island and stuff like that. I'm a huge Christmas buff. I love Christmas, so I'm looking forward to doing something like that as well.
So
In fact, real quick, I was
if
complimenting on my alter ego. He had a Christmas tree with the UO ornament on the very top of the tree. I'm like, bro, I love that tree. I gotta have that tree in my freaking inn, man. But yeah, I'm looking forward to stuff like that. Definitely down the road. Everything.
I can't say every Christmas, but I mean, I'm sure every Christmas they will. But either way, so the last few Christmases, what they've done is they have like these tickets to Winterlands that drop on monsters randomly, and then you turn in that ticket to this little train guy where the Prev merchant is, right? And it takes you to Winterlands. And me and my alter ego, we were partners in this last time, and it was great because he was a bard and I'd jump on my poison echo and we would just demolish it. It was awesome. But in whatever you kill, you gain points, right? So then also those monsters, they have chances to drop train tracks and train engines and coal, and the coal powers the engines. And so you can have a train track in your house, right? And you put the coal in the train, and it does a couple laps or whatever, and it's really cool. Also, the Prev merchant will have all kinds of like winter stuff. Obviously, as you saw, there's a big Christmas tree that you can buy different ornaments for, and there's a new tree every year as well. And they do, man. Every holiday, every season. I mean, Outlands is just, I mean, they make content. Yeah. So used to, I would try to make a video over every piece of content they did. And then eventually it got to where it was like, look, I can either just be like a news guy, which is a lot of fun, but those videos are only good for that little bit of time, right? Or I can make like what I like, evergreen videos that will be good for maybe not always. Sometimes the older ones aren't quite as relevant, right? But are better, helpful for new players more long term. And I like the helping new players because of what you said earlier, and what we're kind of running into is I feel like that bottom new player thing is the biggest churn, which it is in every game, right? But I really like helping the new players out as much as I possibly can and trying to understand that whole experience. So, but yeah, you've definitely, if you like holiday events and stuff, especially Christmas, bro, strap in, man, because they're gonna take care of you.
The bunny was my first event. The bunny thing, so that was awesome. That was great. I had problems trying to drop the carrot. There were people chats like, "Hey, drop the carrot." No, you got to drop it in front of the crate, So, but learning, that's all good. But yeah, that was the first event. I had a blast doing it. I think the biggest was like a 4.6. Big Tuna got a bigger one. But
his name is Big. Big tuna. Well, you're big business, so both of you guys should have got a big one. Never mind. Big tuna.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. I guess it was meant to be to have him on the stream. I told him, I'm like, man, this might turn into a regular thing. I'm gonna have to make him an emote for the channel or something. I don't know.
I like the dynamic you guys have. I was watching today, and I felt like it was a really good dynamic because you obviously were the star of the show, right? It's Mr. Big Business. But he was there and he gave input in at the perfect times. He said what he needed to say. He didn't overtake the show or anything, which I've seen in the past. The only reason I bring that up is because I've seen in the past where people will invite somebody into their Discord, and that person in the Discord just, they don't mean to, but they end up taking over the entire show. And it's like, who is this guy that's just talking nonstop? I don't, and I think it was perfect. I really liked you guys' dynamic today. It was really good.
I agree. It's so weird. And it was something unexpected. Originally it was just him come in the Discord, help me out and stuff like that. But you're right, man. He has been a big part of the channel for the last 2 weeks and helping me out and coming in at the right time and saying the right stuff. And he's also going off my vibe and stuff like that. And I thank him countless times, and I can't still thank him enough for being patient with me while Mr. Big is running a rampage and going cray and jumping around with the chicken head. And he just sits there and waits patiently.
I love the chicken head. I love the chicken dance. Dude, it's so good. I remember the first time I saw it, man, I screenshotted it. I threw it in my Discord. I threw it in General Outlands, and I linked your Twitch, and I was like, go follow this, man. This energy is electric, dude. You gotta go. It was so good that I think everybody was dropping their 5K channel points over and over. I'm sure you were sweating underneath that mask.
No, I was dying, bro. I was dying. But I knew when I made that, I didn't realize the implications or the outcome of how bad it was going to be. So part of me is kind of like FML, but part of me is like, fuck it. I'm having fun doing it. Guys, give me a break. Let me catch my breath. And then 5,000 more points come down. So I didn't think it was going to be as crazy as it was, but I'm going to re-alter it a little bit with the overlay and stuff like that. But I got to make an emote now for the chicken dance. I got to do that now too. It's grained into the stream. So yeah, that's going to be there.
I keep seeing a clip. So we all got that exclamation SO and it brings a clip for the streamer. Mm-hmm. It seems like every time I SO you, shout out you on my streams, I always see you beating a Bob, what I know is a Bob, body opponent bag. And you call him, what is it, Carl?
There's a couple things with that. All right, listen. Oh boy, I can't believe we're getting okay. So
we are, dude. I love watching your streams, man. It's great.
It's all good. I'm gonna go out with it. All right. So obviously, I have a sit down green screen. I might bring it back. I have another green screen where I can actually stand up and walk around and stand in front of there and beat the shit out of Bob, or AKA Carl, and some more overlays and stuff like that. I did that for RuneScape. A lot of people liked it. I might have to do an Ultima Online overlay. I'm still debating on it. I'm still learning. I think I might bring it back. People are asking for the vodka song from my previous streams. I got to bring that back now. So it's a whole strong. Oh my God, dude, the vodka song. The Russian dude. Yeah, it's a Russian dude singing vodka. I don't even know the terms. I have nightmares still of it. People are asking me to bring that back. So there's a whole lot of stuff that I want to bring into the stream. And how am I going to do that? When I'm going to do it? It's a matter of time. I'm still got to learn the game. I've got. I just literally just came out of the blue. I have shameless. What do I call it? The shameless, the shameless self-promotion screen now. I don't know if you've seen that. Where I'll pull up today's sponsor is brought to you by Kickstarter, and I'll go off and spiel that came out of my mind. I don't know why, so I think I got to keep that now. So there's always something, man. There's always something with my stream that I love to add. That I love. I just love entertaining, and this is a great outlet to do it. And it's something that gets me away from the real world for a certain amount of time and
I
be a part of a
understand.
great community and great viewers, man. People like you as well, too, man. You freaking hype me up. I got to get on your level, Pwn Star. I'm trying to get on your level, my dude. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I could add or bring back. So we'll see how it goes.
I think that's, just like you, man. I think probably the most fun thing about streaming, and for me, my first stream was just my 1,000 subscriber special, and it was supposed to be one stream. Right, that was all it was going to be. It was just going to be one
Yeah,
stream. But then it just
yeah,
kind of kept going. I had fun, and I had fun, and I had fun, and I had fun, and then I wanted to add more. And then and this is kind of what I got from what you just said, is that like when you have an idea, you put in the work and you do it, because just like we said at the beginning of this, it's days sometimes of doing something that's just a few seconds, but
it
then it
does.
goes off without a hitch, or it goes
Mhm.
off and fails, but then you
Yeah,
do it again and it works, and then
yep.
people are like, wow, that's awesome, and they love it, and you get that great feedback, and it just feels so, I like, that is the best thing ever when you do something and that you put a lot of work into, and you get great feedback and great viewer interaction, and just like, it's so fun to me when
It's,
that
it
happens.
really is. I literally ended the stream tonight, and I'm like, I'm drinking and all. I had to stop the stream because I need an hour and a half to relax and get some food in me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as I'm walking around, all lubed up and I'm putting more red fuel in my freaking thighs. I'm thinking to myself, back to day one. I do it all the time. To day one as a streamer to now, and I'm flipping mind blown
Yeah.
that like people are in here watching me,
Yeah.
and I still can't believe it. And I still get that same tingly feeling like when you're watching a movie and the hero comes out, at the end and fights the bad guy, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, and there's a big old twist, and you get that tingly, like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I get when I get off the stream and I go to sleep exhausted, but I'm thinking about the stream as I'm passing out in my freaking king size waterbed,
Yeah.
all lubed up, and I'm just like,
Do you
wow.
really have a waterbed?
Uh, Only certain people know that answer. We'll leave it at that.
I
But let's
love
just
it.
oh, there's some waves coming. I'm just kidding. We won't go down
I
that road.
love it.
Uh, yeah, but I lay there and I'm just excited for the next stream. And
Yeah.
I'll stream till like 11, 12 o'clock midnight, get up, go to work, do what I gotta do, freaking half asleep, and I get excited. It's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I gotta rush home. I gotta rush home. I'm getting food. I'm throwing it in my gut again. I gotta hit the start stream button. And that's one last thing I want to say is I've been on and off for the last 7, 8 months, wondering if I should come back to streaming or not streaming. There's a little some up and downs. I almost lost my RuneScape account. There's a bunch of little things.
Yeah.
But finding this community and finding this game has reinvigorated the Mr. Big Business inside of me that I've kind of let slide. If you watch my older videos for the last 2, 3 months, they're not Mr. Big. It's me just streaming a game,
Yep.
lost whether or not, because I feel like I want to stream because I can't play a game without streaming. That's just how it is for me now lately. But finding this game has reinvigorated all
It's
that, and
good.
I'm flipping excited, man. And thank you to the viewers and you and other streamers for reinvigorating me to be Mr. Damn Big Goddamn
What
Business.
what kind of goals? I mean, we're on that topic, man. Tell me.
Yeah,
I know we talked about partner for either you
yeah.
or anybody in here, but I mean, just tell me, you specifically, what kind of goals do you have? For you, your streaming community, and then yeah, tell me a little bit about that, man, because I know you
Uh,
got them.
oh, I do, bro. I do, and I'm gonna be. I will be transparent with those goals. Uh, for 5 years, I've known people who stream. I've seen people I know, not from the streamers that are out there streaming. I don't personally know. I'm talking personally know these people. I talk with them outside the stream, maybe not in person, but on Discord and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I've become really good friends with a lot of streamers. And in the 5 years of streaming, only one out of maybe 15 of the people that I have really close relationships are still streaming.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and lie. Do I want to be partnered with Twitch? Yeah, but I don't. It's not because I want to be partnered with Twitch, not because I'm going to get a little bit more money with my subs, or there might be a possibility of a sponsorship. It's not that. It's the fact, it's a goal that I can check off in my life and see, you know what? An X amount of percent of people who stream on Twitch make partner.
Yep.
It's just a check mark, and it's really a check mark by your name that I just want to have and obtain. So in order to do that, I've struggled. I literally have struggled. I've done the analytics, like you said at the beginning, of trying to figure out what makes people grow on Twitch. What do I got to do to make partner on Twitch? And I've put the effort, I put the entertainment, I've done all of it, and sometimes I feel a lot of that effort just goes,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't work. So, but then I got to remind myself that I remind a lot of people. I've inspired some people to actually stream. I was like, listen, do not stream. Do not start streaming because you think you're going to get rich or you're going to make lots of money. Because I tell you, 99% of the people that do that are going to fail, because that's the reality of it. Not everybody makes it in Twitch. So I remind myself of why I stream and why I keep doing it for the last 5 years, to keep trying. And that's my goal, is to obtain partner for a personal goal. If I don't make it, I don't make it. That's fine. It's just a personal goal. My goal as a streamer for my viewers and everybody that watches me is give back. That's what I want to do. I don't know how, when you came in, where you came in and watching my stream, subs and freaking bits were going banana flip crazy. I kind of do what Bear did. Bear does a lot of streams for other organizations and stuff like that. I take the money that I make and I flip it, and hence why I'm doing the giveaways that I am for the channel and for the viewers. Because if it's
You
not
did a
for the
PlayStation
viewers,
today.
yeah,
PlayStation 5.
yeah. I got more stuff that I want to do and give away, but that's the main one. So my goal for the viewers and entertainment part is to keep entertaining and keep those viewers to come in and entertain those people and give back to those people that take their time out of their lives to sit down and watch me in their limited amount of time of what's going on with their life. So I want to give back to those people. And lastly, what I want to do is, if I can obtain a certain X amount of viewers, I ultimately want to give back to the military. So I definitely do want to do a Wounded Warrior stream sometime down the road. So I want to give back to the military of those people as well. So there's two different big goals. Yes, obtain a paid partnership to get that check mark, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's the viewers and the entertainment that I provide that makes it all flipping worth it.
That's great, man. I will say that partner is achievable on Outlands. I've seen kind of like you, man, where, you know, you said in the 5 years you've got about 15 close friends that have been streaming, and, you know, in that time period, and only one of them is still streaming. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir there. You know, I've seen plenty of people come and go. I mean, that's just how it works, man. In anything. I mean, even if you think about your current job or profession that you do, you see people come and go. Like, it's just how it works. People start things, and then, you know, they stop doing them, or for whatever reason. That business is of their own, and, you know, they're all very valid reasons. But my point in bringing that up again is that I've seen a few people that have been over that viewer threshold consecutively, but it just requires that consistency of that, and not just, okay, we're here, and then all of a sudden something happens. It's okay, but something happens, and they stop streaming, or they start only streaming a couple times a month, or less, and then less and less, and again, they're all valid reasons. I'm just saying that there has been multiple people that have been at that partner level. If they just would have been more consistent for a little bit longer, then they would have been partner. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind at that at all. So, you know, just to kind of, you know, give you a little a little what's the word?
Encouragement.
That's it. Thank you. Encouragement. That yeah, and I really do. You know, like I said at the very beginning, the way my adjective for you is electric, because I think that's we're here as streamers, and not everybody has their own reason to stream, and that's it is what it is. But
yeah,
for me and for you, I can tell we're here to entertain people, man. Like that's what when I hit start stream, I make sure that I'm going to be entertaining people tonight. I don't get on there to progress my character. I mean, yes, of course, I'm like, well, I'm working on my archery codex today or whatever. You know what I mean? But in reality, what I'm doing is because I'm trying to entertain people, and that is entertainment for me, right?
Yeah,
and it's the same thing for you. I can tell, and so I think as long as you have that, which I know you will, that constant, like, I'm here to entertain people and I love doing it, and you keep that consistency, which you obviously have, then you're gonna be a partner on Twitch through Ultima Online Outlands.
That means a lot. Thanks, bro. That means a lot, man. It really does. I will add, every once in a while, somebody asks me, and this is kind of a sidestep for what we're talking about. People ask me, "Why do you wear glasses? Can you not see anything? Like, how do you wear that and see the screen?" And I always say, in a sense, that, like, I don't know if you've ever seen a YouTuber pretty famous, Casey Neistat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he wears sunglasses on all his videos. So I always say there's a reason that I wear the sunglasses, not because my eyes fucked up or anything crazy like that. I look normal. But with what I do in the background and my overlays and stuff like that, there's a reason I wear the sunglasses. So it goes with not only just the character, but there's actually a reasoning behind the sunglasses and stuff. I just want to add that.
Yeah.
Just because there might be one viewer out there who's going to comment, why is he wearing sunglasses, But yeah, that's why I wear the sunglasses. There's reason behind it, chat. There's reason behind it, people. There is. I promise you. I promise. Besides besides looking cool.
It looks cool, man. You look cool. What? All right. So I always like to ask everybody this at the end, man. And who do you think should be the next person on the Pwncast? So we've had Bear, we've had Glavos the Guard, which is from the Sir Guild. We've had Lucy Rambles, and then now you.
Now me. I definitely would like to be. It doesn't even have to be Outland server. It's just somebody who is committed to streaming. It doesn't have to be anybody streaming in Outlands. I think it should be somebody that wants to stream Ultima Online, regardless of the shard. I'm just gonna throw a couple. I love my alter ego. I love his energy. I think that could definitely be one. Bobby definitely could be one. And I'm probably going to kick myself in the butt after this. And there might be another person that I'm not thinking of right off the top of the bat. But then there's also, check this out. And I haven't gotten contact with him yet. There was a brand new streamer, literally day one follower, new to Twitch. And on top of that, new to Ultima Online that came in my channel the other day. I might reach out to him. Maybe that's if you want me to reach out to him. Maybe a brand new Twitch streamer / Ultima Online player could be another person too. So that I'm throwing out those three people. I think his name is where I can't remember. I have to look. Sure. I won't say his name. I don't want to get it wrong. But yeah, definitely somebody brand new to Twitch, somebody brand new again to the game, or I guess the people who've already been there again, like Alter Ego. I love their energy, or Bobby.
He's fun.
So I hope I'm not forgetting somebody.
We always are, though, right?
Yeah, we always are. Myself in the back of the head, be like, bro, really? You didn't even give that guy's name or that girl's name? Really? Yeah, that's all good. But yeah, there's tons of great people to talk to, and I don't think you're gonna have a problem finding the fifth Pwncast interviewee for dang sure, man. Definitely.
Well, man, I really do. I can't say it enough. I think it's so good to hear, perspective of somebody that's been here for 3 weeks, somebody that's streaming, somebody that has experience streaming, somebody that's so entertaining and all these wonderful things, man. I really do appreciate you, taking time out of your day, accepting to come on here as a guest on the Pwncast and everything like that, man. So I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to watching you grow, as I know you're going to, both your stream, but also just the Ultima Online and Outlands, obviously, community a lot. So, man, tell everybody, where everybody can find you. If you got extra socials outside of Twitch, all those things.
I don't have I have a YouTube channel, but it's not over 2,000 or whatever thousand. There's no actual link. But if you go to Mr. Twitch.tv, Mr. Big Business, that's Mr. MR Big BIG Business BIZZNESS. You can find me right there, looking sharp, looking pretty, and fueled up and energetic to start the next damn stream. Pwnstar, you're amazing. Thank you for having me. And I'm telling you, man, when you asked me to do this, dude, I was blown away. That's not what I was expecting, man. So it is an honor, my dude. It is a blast to be here with you. And I just can't thank you enough, and the community and your community and overall Ultima Online community. It's been awesome. And I'm looking forward to many, many entertaining chicken dances and a lot more craziness from Mr. Big Business. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Big Business, thank you once again, man. I appreciate you, bud. Guys, thanks for coming by the Pwncast. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.